we're going to, what we did last week, we worked on conditional statements, right? If else statements. And then iteration, loop. We will do that continually today within a graphical user interface. So I posted the new textbooks, new chapter. I believe that is chapter 5, graphical user interface. I wanted to read the textbook that I am writing, and if you find any error, anything that you think need more elaboration, please let me know. In that way, you can get extra points. Not many students do that, but if somebody give any comments, then you will receive extra points, because this is course related. Anyway, in dialogue user interface like this, I cannot highlight. He doesn't like. He likes. I think he likes money. So he wants to go to Wall Street. I told him to work for the government. That is the best position from my experience. Work for the government for first 20 years, and then you can decide what you need to do for your second job. Then you can study if you want to be a professor, or you can set up the company, start up another company if you want, with the experience with the government. That is big advantage, right? Or stay there for 40 years. That is also good. 40 years federal.
If you work with NSA, do they let you leave and start your own business?
NSA is usually not.
What?
Usually not. NSA employees, once they are hired, they stay there forever.
Because I was at
35, 40, or 45 years.
at my job, they had a meeting this week, and one of the guys from a company called Mitsuji, and one of the guys was ex-NSA.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is he still young?
Somehow no, I'm not young. He's something pretty.
He retired at old age, right?
He wasn't old. He was maybe around your age.
70?
30, 40, I don't know. And he was probably around 30, 40, and they said he was ex-NSA. So I think you can work and leave and start your own business. They don't, probably hard, right?
Yeah. There's some pros and cons. The longer years you work as a federal employee, the less likely that you can do business well. Because federal employment is not really pursuing profit a lot. There are like, it is more like a public service. Okay, if it is NSA position, then public service is public defense. That type of things, rather than, I want to make one product which should be very, very highly competitive with anything, so that we need to make more profit from there. So always they calculate cost-benefit analysis. They do not put any investment if there is no profit, right? But for the public services, It's not profit generation. It's for public safety, public wealth, public everything about public, right? That's the government. So if you stay there longer, still wants to do some, after retirement, if you want to do some of your own business, then if that business is solely profit oriented, then it's very hard to make. You need to find some business somewhere in between. Still do service, but a little bit of profits. That type of business is good. What would be that type of business?
That's sold to my company on my street.
Like consulting companies with the expertises that he has, he can make some consultation, freelance consultation, project based. Oh yeah.
They're trying to sell a company an upstack. They said that they couldn't provide upstack, too much development. So they offered them an API framework instead. Next generation pods.
Right. Any application that uses data fed by API would be really next generation of the services. And once you set up, for example, apps that runs with the data that is provided from API, then it runs by itself forever. That type of application is really good, and I like it. It is just like weather services, for example. Once you set up the weather services, it goes forever because there is an API provider they providing, and your application is just a user interface, and it runs forever. There are so many such types available. For example, Wall Street market, the stock data. There is a API provider. One of the typical API provider is Bloomberg, right? Bloomberg terminal. But Bloomberg terminal is not really unique. There are so many small similar provider available, so that they provide, and your API, your apps can receive it and subscribe it. Bloomberg's very expensive if you want to subscribe. But there's for Wall Streets, there's no free APIs. You need to subscribe. The weather, for example, then there's a free. Disease from CDC, that is also free. So you can make apps which may be very interesting to everyone else, right? You can make it quick. For example, there is a epidemic diseases comes, Zika virus, something like that. Then everybody's interested in, everybody's worried about, or only they rely on the TV, right, media. But if there is apps, then they can see all the time, if there's some disease came up, and CDC make the announcement. That announcement is automatic. That is an API, so that your apps can receive that API and display. one of the things that you may like is, for example, train station apps, right? Everybody use on-time Metro North apps. That is also automatic free API.
Or driving maps, yeah.
Driving maps, that is also GPS information from Google. Many of them are free. Some of them then you need to pay. But if you need to sell apps publicly, then you have to pay.
I saw Google Maps, maybe it's free. So if I want to sell some apps with Google Maps API, so I need to pay, or?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you need to pay. If you get profit from their products.
I thought Google is always free.
That's for your individual use. But if you want to make a profit based on their product,
Intellectual property, right?
yeah, that is their property. So you cannot sell for your own profit. You need to share with Google.
A lot of APIs have copyrights, right?
APIs, there's a subscriptions. You can pay and subscribe it. And if you want to do if you want to sell that API through your apps, then you need to make an agreement with that API provider. Okay. If you do not have, I'm going to use mouse. I mean the keyboard rather than using mouse. My mouse is not working. Typically, if you want to talk with the user, then in dialogue basis, you need to make a query prompt, right? You need to provide the prompt to user so that in response to the prompt like this, enter your name, then user can respond to the prompt that you provide. That's typical. But if there's a graphical user interface, then you can provide some text box so that user can enter, and also you can provide some buttons, and therefore your program can provide the result, whatever the result is, right? What we did the last time was a temperature conversion program. So we know how to convert, but today we're going to implement that on graphical user interface. The interface looks like this. Okay, so initially you have one text box and two buttons and another label box, so that to this label box your computation result will be displayed like this. If the upper button is clicked, then there is that conversion process, and lower button there is another conversion process. So this is a source.
Do we have a book chapter? I'm sorry, stop you. Do we have that one?
I believe so. I posted. Yes,
I can't see it.
You cannot?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So there is an intro. Click to open. Oh, there is a module 1 Python. So everything about Python.
Is it a module 1?
Yeah. There is a text chapter 2. Is it? Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't.
I had another book that was.
I didn't put it on.
Text chapter 1, text chapter 2, and that's it.
Sorry. Text chapter 5. There is my book. I do not cover all in the class. Here. I made a conversion but forgot to post. Yeah, there's a chapter, text chapter 5. So, yeah, we have the same textbook that I have here.
I see it now.
So I'm going to explain this first, okay? As usual, if you want to do graphical user interface, you have to import tkinter, okay? Oh, there's no highlight. Only double click works. tkinter. Oh, this is, I need to increase the fonts, right? Increase the fonts or simply this? This is better, right?
Yeah.
And I have two definitions. Convert to C and convert to F. We all add this, right? And then if you want to if you want to use a tkinter, then there is a GUI constructor. If you know well Java, then this is nothing but constructor. Uppercase T, K, and open and close parentheses. This is a constructor, so that you created by having this. You create an object of graphical user interface environment. That is a TK, and you call it root. Okay. This is not really needed, but instead of root, I'm going to rename as F. And then this graphical user interface environment has the title. So this is the window title. Title is called the temperature converter. And then there is a string variable that I set. So as user enter, then I want to receive it as a temp int. And there is two kinds of variables that I want to hold for the conversion result. If it is converted to Celsius, I'm going to put the value in this variable, temp out C for Celsius, and the other way for Fahrenheit, F. And then there is a graphical component here. And I made label. Label means if I want to simply describe, then I use label. Okay? I wanted to take a look at here. There's a label, there's an entry, and button. We have three kinds of graphical user interface, right? Label, entry, button. I have two buttons, so that you may feel some. You saw the display already. There are two buttons. Therefore, in this code, we have also two buttons up here. And then label, there are many ways that I can describe. First label is the explanation about this program. For example, text equals, enter the temperature and click button to convert. Where you can find that? That is at the very on top, right? I says enter a temperature and click a button to convert. To display that text, then you have to do this entry. I have only one entry in this code. So what it would be here in this display? Entry is a text box in which user can enter, right? So user needs to enter. User needs to interface with the program. So if you use enter components, then enter components will make this text box. So let's go back.
I'm sorry, the same as last week, right? And then this instead of putting it in on here, we're going to then put it in a GUI.
Correct.
Like an interface.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we added now to this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last week, all right.
Yeah. And what entry can do is that there is a text variable. This is, we'll look at the reference API of label, entry, and button a little later. But here is this text variable that I want to receive from user, and that is in this temp in variable that I already set here. Oh, that's a string variable. That string variable will be the text variable which is required by entry. Okay. Further down, button. We have two buttons. So if you look at button, then there is a text components. In the text, we can say in F to convert or in Celsius to convert. Where can you see in display? That is the title of this button, right? So that whatever you want to say here, for example, click me, or push me, or process, whatever you want to say, then user may be able to click it. So that is the button here. At this point, some of you may want to know, usually, because you're already addicted to the graphical user interface in many places, right? When you click, then there is some corresponding actions to be taken. How come the button has that action? Button is the user interface, so the user responds to button by clicking it. Once it is clicked, then there's something happens, something processed in response to user clicking, right? So that should be specified. If you look at button here, this is a text equals some, and another command equal. Here is there is some variable equals some value, right? This is another variable, command. Command variable is required by button. This is a reserved word. This is not the word that you define. This is the word. This is by giving text. This button understands. Oh, whatever the value assigned to this text will display. If it is a command equals some value, then this button understands. Oh, there is some other additional function that needs to be executed if this button is clicked. So the command equal is provided together with this button graphical components. So convert to C, and another button commands is convert to F. If you go back in this code, then there is a definition, two definitions, convert to C and convert to F. Those two functions will be executed if button is clicked. And then there is a bunch of other labels. Two labels line 27, 28. Then those two labels for output display. After the conversion process done, then output needs to be displayed. So that is the place they display. And then another display in C and in F, that is in Celsius or Fahrenheit. Everything that you have so far, label, entry, button. Label, for example, watch this. Label, open parenthesis, and there's a close parenthesis. After this, there's a dot. Same thing, entry. If you see this entry, that's too much. I specify the entry constructor followed by dot something else. Everything that I have here, after I have a label, entry, button, I have a dot grid. Dot grid. What it means here is that the graphical user interface programming relies on some layout. So that you need to lay out the canvas, for example, or a frame of your graphical user interface. This program uses grid layout. What is grid? Grid. Yeah, grid is like a table format, right? There's a columns and rows, So, in this grid components here, then it says row or column. Let's take a look at this. This is a simple ones. Grid is a column 2, column equal to, row equal 1. The other one is column equal to, row equal 2, right? So that grid function put that component on that specific position. Position here, we do not yet know how many columns or how many rows, but definitely there is a column number 2 and column number row number 2. Or if we go further down, then there's a column number 3 and row number 2. What that means is that it starts from 0. See here, column number 0 and also row number 0. So from upper left corner of that component, so that will be the first cell will be the row equal 1 and column row equal 0 and column equal 0, right? Let me.
Why is there two quotations on the end of the second one, the second button?
Which one?
Temp out, grid, column row, sticky, and then there's 2 on the end. 2 quotation, or not quotations.
Oh, that should be.
One, right?
Yeah, that's missing. Let me. PowerPoint slides.
Can it give you error?
As is, yes.
Did it give you error?
No, it didn't give you error?
No, I got it now. That's all it needs is the other one.
Yeah, you should have.
2, yeah. 2 of them.
You erased that by accident?
No, this copy and paste error. See here, this is my layout. So if you see this, my layout is this. Let's try row to column 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. Okay. All right, let's make like this. And let's say this is the layout. What we want, look at this inside. I mean, this is my layout, and in your mind you have to make some grid layout so that you have columns and rows. Initially you do not know how many columns and how many rows. That is okay, because you can start from upper left corner, which is the column. This is a row equals 0 and column equals 0. Of course, it should be all smaller, lowercase, right, in real code. But look at this. The columns here, there may be some columns, right? Because therefore you can see in C and in F that's lined up very nicely, and this button lined up also. So there should be some column, but the first row number 0, it is entire, right? So what it means here is that all needs to be merged together. If you see this in Microsoft Office table utilities, then it is like this, and then right there you say enter a temperature and click blah blah blah, right? Then what is the position of this? Previously, this upper left corner was the row equals 0 and column equals 0, but it's not anymore, right? So you have to do something. If you say row equals 0 and column equals 0, then it should appear only upper left corner, that one small cell. But what you want is that you want to span that throughout some rows and some columns. That is the reason, if you see the code here, this first label appears on the first row, which is a row equal 0, but the columns should be spanned like table merge, right? Cells can be merged in Microsoft whatever. So in this Python, we say that is a column span. How many columns that we want to span? We want to span the 4 columns. So first, second, third, fourth, these 4 columns will be spanned. So I think 4 columns only used, maybe. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to remove last 2 columns. I want to cut or cut. So this is the case here. So I span 4 columns like merged cells, and I put 4 span, column spans 4 and row 0, and I display enter the temperature, click button to convert. And in this grid function, there is also another arguments available, which is a sticky. Sticky means if you have labels, whatever the text here, and then there is some orientation, north, south, west, east. So north, if you want to stick to up north within that cell, then you need to put sticky equals N, then it stick to the top. If you want to start the text from the left margin, then you need to say sticky equals W. There's a west, right?
What's the difference between sticky and anchor?
Anchor?
Anchor.
What is it? You
That
read
was the
it.
same one. No, it says
Yeah,
that.
maybe.
Southwest, southwest.
Maybe there's another way that you could do. Yeah. So that is sticky. In the same way, entry. Look at this entry. If you see the entry, then there's a grid, column 0 and row span 2. So when it comes to here, the column 0, first column, and the row should be spanned also. The first, I mean, those two rows needs to be spanned. So that is merged, and right here, you need to display text box so that user can respond to that. And then the sticky, there is a west, or if you want to say sticky west or center or whatever you want to do. Okay. And then two buttons appears here. The first button is column 1 and row 1. Column 1, therefore that is the second column from left, and row 1 means second row from the top, that is here. Here you make button. So I'm going to imitate a little
So you
bit.
give the coordinates within the coordinates, right?
Yeah, I can make a button like here, and I want to make another button one below that in this cell. That is this. I have two buttons. The first button should appear column 1 and row 1. That is this. And then second button is column 1, still the second column from the left. And the row 2, there's a third row from the top. So that appears here. Let's see the sticky. Sticky. You can skip any of this and see how it behaves. If it shows not in the way that you want, then you can find out another arguments. So in this case, the arguments is sticky. So I used I want to push this button to left within that cell. And then another two labels, that is the position where we want to display the outcome of that computation. That is here. That is column number 2, which is the third column from left, and the row number 1 and 2, which is here. So that is the output, right? Outcome here, and another outcome here. And all others are label. Label. This is a button, and here user enter. So here enter whatever, right? This is the layout. I would say this is a layout. Specifically, that is grid layout. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to take a look at the manual. Okay, so the first thing that I want to look at with you is label. So in Google, Python label, a lot of tutorials available. So I do not know yet which one is real manual, but you can click any. For example, tutorial points. Click into label, and it is probably describes very well here. The label here. This is a label. Right? Label. That's a constructor constructing a label. By taking the first argument is master. So master graphical components that you want to add that label into. What is the outer? What is the container? So master is nothing but the container that contains this particular label. What is the container here in our program? Container is F. What is the F? F is the root. Oh, now it works. So root is the most outer component of this graphical user interface. So I draw the windows, the outer windows, and the window has title, and my label will stick into that the window. So first, the components when you construct the label is the master, which is the container. Container in our program is F, followed by all options. There are so many options. Oh, here's the anchor. Anchor. This position controls where the text is positioned. If the widgets has more space than the text needs, the default anchor is a center. So if it is, if you want to put that on the center, then you don't need to do anything. So just simply skip it. Then that is center, which centers the text in the available space. BG for background, bitmap. If we want to enter some images, BD, the size of a border line, and cursor fonts. Cursor is even you can set. For example, if that is the text box that user needs to enter, then you need to change some cursor. It's not a simple default vertical bar blinking, but you may have some others, right? That is possible. If you set this option to a cursor name like arrow, dot, etc., the mouse cursor will change to that pattern when it is over the check button. And fonts, you can change it. You can set the fonts, different font face, and foreground, height, width, image, justify. This is another way that you can align your text, left or center, whatever. And padding is also possible. Extra space added to the left to right of the text. Within the cell, before the margin, if you want to make some padding, then you can do that also. If you see, for example, text with the sticky equal W, then it stick to all the way to the left. Sometimes you want to make some space there, then make a padding. Okay. So pad X. Oh, I want to make some space along the X axis. Pad Y, then vertically, I want to make some space. Relief text variable. Watch this. This is to save text to display in the label widget to control variable of a class, so that you need to specify string var. In this way, you can set the option to the variable. Here, I made the strong variable and string variable, string var. String var is constructed for these variables, and those variables here text variable equals temp1. Temp1 is string var. So that string variable is assigned to the text variable, which is then save the text displayed in the label. So as the user entered some value, that user text displayed on that text box, whatever display on that text box needs to be saved, needs to be taken by the program. How can we take that the written text from that component? That is the way here. That is, if you specify text variable equal whatever string var, then it can be taken. On the line with wrap length, there are so many such things. That is for label. At the same time, there may be also Python entry. So tutorial points, if you see entry, same way, entry master, so that container should be specified at the first position of that function, followed by multiple options. So all those options, if you want to select any one of those, any or more of the options here, then you need to specify option name, option title equals, and then option value. For example, background BG, then BG equals, and then you enter the color name. Usually color can be taken if you give hexacode. Okay.
Unicode?
Hmm?
Did you say hex?
Yeah, hex code.
Okay, or Unicode, right? Isn't there like numbers that correspond to the
No, it is not
colors?
Unicode. It is hex, means it is it's a binary code, but in different specification. For example, if you want to put color red, then according to RGB components, the first two letters should be fully set in hex, which means 16, right? Well, actually 15. So that is F. So FF, all others is 0, unset.
Oh, I see.
So 0, 0, 0, 0, then red color will appear. But to indicate that number as hex, you need to have a pound sign. Pound sign is the prefix. So pound sign FF0000. You can mix the color, any color that you want. For example, I want to have 80% of red, 75% of green, and 25% of blue. Then you need to do that. For example, AA 9944. Then that is, I do not know what color it is, but there is 65,000 colors available. So you can choose any one of those by giving
I have another
red.
question. What is the difference between then putting in the hex code for it or writing it in English?
In English, very limited color name.
Oh, I see. For
Okay.
real? Okay. I see.
How many colors do you know?
Oh, I see. That they would recognize too. Does it
Yeah.
recognize other colors besides like the basic ones?
By coding only.
Oh, I see.
You can name it. You can say, hey, this is Jess color.
Oh, I see. I see.
And what is your favorite color?
Oh, I see.
You can define it within your code. So this is for label. And another one that you can see from the manual is button. So button also requires the container at its first argument for its first arguments, which is the container master. In our case, f. F is nothing but root. Root is nothing but uppercase tk, right? So uppercase tk, which is a window. Yeah, constructor. Option. Many options are similar to others, but one particularly very, very significant when you create button is the command button, command arguments. Command needs function or method to be called when the button is clicked. When the button is clicked. Some of you may need, for example, why that function needs to be activated or executed only if that button is clicked. Why not do it in response to my mouse movement? When I move my mouse over that button, then I want to execute automatically.
Well, like hover.
Or double click, for example. It works only if I do double click or triple click. Or like this particular the web browser. When I move my mouse on this button, then automatically the mouse shape changed. See, a mouse shape changed. And when I click this, then there's another action, right? So multiple actions needs to be assigned to the same button. But in this tkinter is a simple GUI application, so it has only one case, only if it is clicked. Okay, there's no double click, there is no triple click. There is no action when mouse leaves that button area, or when enter into that button area, or whatever. So usually, for example, Java language, all possible options already ready to use. Okay, so in response to that, you can. User can, in response to user mouse movement, different actions can be taken. So all others can be read by you. So why not try? I know some of you already tried, but let's try. We will try this after 15-minute break. After 15-minute break, I will give you 10 more minutes. So we will execute this around 10:10. How about that? Okay. We'll come back. Okay, we'll come back 10:05, and then I'll give you 10 more minutes. So 10:15 is the time that we execute.
So this is 25 minutes altogether.
All together, yeah.
Altogether,
Okay,
25
see you.
minutes, okay.
So another thing that I want to do, this is a program that you can see from the text. What I want to show to you, if you are using Paizo, then Paizo does not render the value converted. Let's try if if it displays can you do it another way? This is mine.
I think the problem is when you have a lot of versions of Python installed, it creates a problem. You have a lot of installations of Python.
No, that's not the issue. This is not, this cannot be get. It's not also. Text variable. That is a stick to that. So it's not going to work. So let's bring up I'm going to make it a little bigger, like this, and so I can run at the command line and the file name is GUI1m2.py. So I know you have the earlier version of this, but I wanted to change it, for example, color. Whatever you type here, say this morning of 59, if it is in Fahrenheit, then I can convert it to Celsius, that is a 15. So both are in a color and different size of the fonts, so that if I click to convert that to Fahrenheit by assuming this is Celsius, then that is 132 degree in Fahrenheit. So I wanted to practice this also and try to do that on command line rather than using Paizo. For some unknown reason, I do not know yet. I've never seen that before. There are two ways. There may be another way that we can tweak, or there's a technical missing gap between Paizo and native Python. James, are you running Paizo or? Okay. Jesse, you are not running Paizo, right?
Well.
Yeah. Clips doesn't do Python compiling by itself, in itself, right? It is only editor right now.
Eclipse?
Eclipse, yeah.
Add-on.
add-on, but therefore the engine of interpretation is Python itself. Not like Python. Python has its own Python engine. Although you have separate Python installed, it's not linked.
So when maybe when Python update and
Maybe,
Python still need to update.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe a new version of Python can handle it. It's a Python issue, not Python issue.
Because it uses high def and the Django. You heard of Django?
Mm-hmm.
And that's for web development.
Yeah.
And then Iron Python.
There are a lot of distributions, a lot of dialects.
Multiple engines.
That's, yeah.
One doesn't want to use another one.
Therefore, in class, we better stick to native Python. So once you know native Python, then you can handle it anyway. But if you rely on some dialects of Python, then you may enjoy some better capabilities from that dialects, but it's not really standard. It may not work at some other environments, so that's maybe the case. So when you develop Python, then you need to make sure that it runs on native Python, and once it runs on native Python, then it may be able to be comparable to any others. The reason for that is many other dialects eventually will comply with the native version. So have you done this? Color and font. See, I have a bigger size of user input and little smaller others, and very small fonts for the originals. And I have a different color accordingly. So practice this a little bit, and then we can move. Marvin, where are you? Close all up. No problem. You shouldn't have numbers.
What, these?
Yeah,
I
number.
took that from
Right. Number is just the labels
Yeah.
for me to explain.
I just copied it.
Right. You have to remove all the numbers. And also, when you copy the code, number, yeah, definitely there shouldn't be numbers. And the quote or double quote, sometimes it is not text quote. It is like Microsoft Word quote. In the Microsoft Word quote, it's not the same as this. The quote here, that is this, right? In Microsoft Word quote, if there is a quote in general, then it will be like this, right? Yeah. Look at this. This quote is not the same as. This is not also. This is not going to work. So if you copy it, then you need to have this quote. That should be. You have to change that quote explicit.
We're going to menus. Example number 5.2.
Okay, let's move to that one. All right, another GUI program that you may think of, example 5.2. So pull down menu. The code's there, so I want you to practice that. I'm going to explain a little bit of those. File dialog should be imported. For example, ask save as file, ask open file, and there may be any others, right? This is a simple starting point so that let me give you a demo first, and therefore you may be able to. It'll be very familiar with the menu to pull down 0. So okay, here. Let's see if it works in our case.
Having a problem around line 30.
Yeah, this. When you do, there's 2 menus up here, but you can add more and more, right? File and help. Then help appears here in this case, but you can make another pop-up like this. File. Let's do right now something implemented only 2, open and save as, right? So if I want to open, it's not going to work. It's not implemented before. Open. Okay. Let me go. See another version. Yeah, open. Then then you can see other. What happens here is that when I file and open, then it brings up Microsoft browser. So here you can put anything in text, not. If you have anything in text, then you can bring it. If that is any specific here, these are the text, right? So that I can bring, for example, test1, then and open. That file came up here. Remember, this is a test1 that we tried the first time. We create two functions and finally print greeting and some others, right? This kind of things can be drawn from your Python, and then we can save this as another file. so that I can say test 1 version 2. Save it. So when I come back, my program, and then there is a test 1 and test 1 version 2. That can be handled from your GUI, and the code is like this. In this case, there are two types of container. Within entire Windows, you could have a frame container or canvas container. Frame container is a good container that you want to make some drawing. Okay, so when you draw, then you use a canvas in real life. Frame is more like a menu-based design. Then you may be able to use a frame, but it's not really exclusively different. So we use a frame. Frame is contained in root, followed by multiple arguments. So frame can have the size of the frame, which is width 400, height 400, and then frame packed, and there is an editor, which is from text constructor, and text is the editor. That editor is contained in frame. So what happens here is that if I bring up this is not working. Why? So new slide. Okay. In the frame, let's say this is a window. Okay, this is a window. So I can say this is a root, outer container. This is a root, outer container. Inside this outer container, we have a frame. So we have another frame here. Okay, and I'm going to make this different color, fill, no fill, line.
Can I add something? I'm sorry.
Just a second. Okay. Just a second. And this is called frame. Frame in my case, and I call this inside here, so that I'm going to make this red line. Okay, I'm going to make this bigger fonts. All right. So far, like this. Question?
I don't doubt that you're trying to make us think, but there's the one that's on the book on chapter 5. It just keeps saying, like, see, this is Fram. Is this supposed to be frame?
It's a frame, but I call it. There's a variable.
Frame.
Frame is assigned to that variable.
It's a frame.
Yeah, that is for frame.
But there is another frame too. That's why. That was
Which
also,
one? This is a variable. This is a variable. It comes from this frame. Frame is the class. That is a defined class.
Yeah.
And when that frame is constructed, then I call it frame.
Oh, I see, and that's why the 9 number.
Yeah, they're all frame.
And then it says frame here.
Yeah, that is also frame.
Frame?
So next one here is I'm going to put text box, for example, text, I'm going to put text within this frame. Now let me clarify a little. What other color that may be good?
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to put this, and it's white, and I'm going to say this is a text, but that is called editor. This is my variable. This is like a label that I want to, as I want to reuse, I'm going to use that label instead of see, root, that is outside. That is a general windows. That windows that you could see. Let me bring up. Do I have?
Can I see your piezo? When you get a chance?
Sure. Let's see. Right here, piezo, and I can.
There's frame. What is the difference?
That's fine. I mean, if you say frame E, then you need to have all the time
Can you make it
frame.
Can you make both of them frame and try to run it? Because I did that before, and that's why I wasn't working.
Do not mix. If you have a frame,
Oh, I see.
no E, then you have to put all the
I
frame.
know.
This is a variable. Variable will be reused throughout your coding. But in this case, I put that frame. This is my code, but when I created a textbook, I want to make it a little different so that students may ask questions. By you got motivation. Oh, why not FRAME but FRAM? So that you can understand.
Does it work with just frame? I'm sorry,
Why not? Why not?
I was getting then.
If I change this all,
I was
this
getting,
is your variable.
No, I understand, but
If-
I was just getting like some weird.
Yeah, let's make it a little simpler. Not frame, but fra.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm sorry to.
that's good.
Off guard here.
Let's see any other place that I have fra. The others all.
I think it was my editor. I think it was. I had.
Let's
a
run
syntax-
it.
I had a syntax issue. I did that. I got it now, but I just had.
Yeah.
I just had something else. Okay.
Why not? It runs, and I can get text version 2. Then it comes up. It's just variable, so that I can say here FRAM or root. For example, root. That is a variable.
Oh.
But real function that can make it root is this. You need to use this tk open and close parenthesis. But at every time, if you want to make this instead of a root, then what happens? At every time you create another window, another window, another window, another window. What you want to do is you create one window and everything, put it in that window so that you label it, and this label root is used here.
I see.
So this frame should be contained in root. That's what I'm saying here. This is a root outside, and then there is a frame which is inside, which contains editor. Editor is my label, my variable. Frame is my variable. Root is my variable. What is the real graphical components? For root, there's a tk open and close. Fra in this case, that is the real graphical components is a frame, right? And editor, this is my name. Real constructor is text. So with that, I want you to test. And then we have here, inside here, I believe we have and menu. We have a menu also. Menu is created, which is contained in the root. So menu is also somewhere here. Let's say here's a menu. Fill, I'm going to make it different color, and line also like this, and I can say this is my menu. But menu is a reserved word, that is a class, but I call it my menu. So my menu. My menu is nothing but this, which should be in this color. Okay? So I have a menu. Within that menu, my menu is created. The first menu is a file menu, and in that menu I add a command called new, open, save as, and then I have a separator. What I mean by that here, when I make this menu, there's a separator. Save as. After save as, here I have add underscore separator, so that I have a separator, right? And followed by page up and print and another separator, and then finally exit. And this is file menu. In addition file menu, I have another menu, which is edit menu, and I have another menu, which is format menu. You could have view menu, help menu. That way I have 4 or 5 different menus here, right? So if I make that available here, then in addition to that, I have another one inside. I call. I'm gonna make it say yellow, and this is what is I called file menu. So that is my variable. File menu. File menu. File menu is inside that, and line should be black so that you can see. I'm gonna make this so. Okay, that is the layout. Within entire Windows, I created a frame. Frame contains editor, where there is a my menu. My menu is entire tab on top, and specific menu in this tab zone. So first tab is file menu, and second tab will be like this. first tab is File, and second tab Edit, and Format, View, Help, so that you can have more and more here. More and more here. Okay?
Snowy. That movie was ridiculous. Best movie I saw, the best movie I've seen in the last 3 years. I watch a lot of like Netflix documentaries on that. I reviewed that whistleblower. Man, that movie was it's nuts, dude. This one part of it is like Strickland's fight or whatever. He's like getting like freaked out because his laptop's open. He knows how capable they are. You gotta watch it, dude. Once you see it, you'll be like, oh man, this shit, it blows your mind. Like, it's so far advanced than any of this. Like, you think about it, you're like Prism, all that. It's nuts. It's nuts. Some of these, like, you know, it's such a good movie, though. Such a good movie. Just like how they, like, you know, how they, like, pick people that work for, like, NSA. Like, it's, you know, all, like, probably, you know, blown up at, you know, at a portion, but it's pretty, probably gives you a good idea of what's about. I really directed it had the guy from National Treasure, what's his name? Yeah, him. He was good in that movie. He was the guy. He was talking about like the like cryptography. He's like cryptographer in the movie. He acted like this, like, you know, you gotta see it. I'm telling you, you gotta watch the movie and kind of just see it. I just saw it last week, my girl. This movie's like, yeah, oh yeah. She's seen like the Netflix documentaries on Snowden. She's seen it. Yeah, the Netflix documentary. You have to see Snowden. I was just telling him. Movie Snowden.
Oh.
Yeah, it's beyond this belief. It was amazing. It talks about, like, you know, Prism, all this stuff. It was just so far advanced. It had the guy from National Treasure, Nicholas Cage in it. It's a good movie.
So there's some technical.
Yeah, a lot. Oh yeah. A lot of stuff that, like, I was just like, oh man, I had no idea. Had a lot of, like, military stuff, like about NSA and whatever. It's really interesting. Very good movie.
I'm wondering, Snowden is still checking some of the data from
Yeah, and then it shows that how he goes and he receives like public, like political asylum.
Not anymore.
Well, he lives now in Russia. Like they.
Not anymore, still. Sometimes.
Yeah, I think.
He released a brand new information.
Because he still has it. It's old data.
Old data, but released right now.
Yeah.
Unless he has someone, unless he has a friend that's sending it.
He was not an NSA employee.
Yeah. You gotta see it. It shows about the old whistleblower before him and one other NSA contractor.
He left these folk thousands and thousands.
Yeah. That was the part in the commercial where he puts it in the Rubik's Cube. He takes a micro SD and he, like, takes a piece of the Rubik's Cube apart and he puts it in it. I don't want to tell you the movie. You told me the movie was Sully last week. Remember you told me? I still have to see that.
You saw Sully?
That's a good movie.
You saw it?
I didn't see
Instead
it.
of Snowbird.
I know. I can't believe you saw that.
Professor, what kind of...
Only reason.
So you're competing.
I went to 83rd Broadway.
All right.
With my wife.
Oh, that's it.
Around 9 o'clock. So we want to see good flat bed like seats.
Oh, I see.
We'll like.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. I know exactly what you're talking
But I slept for 40%.
so I
Really?
I didn't watch much.
Because I feel like immediately. So we will try to find out total where there is no that snow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that.
I wasn't really playing a lot around here. It's more like over the bridge, more north. That's where I see. I don't think they have them like Yonkers.
We have that controllable chair equipped to deliver here in Manchester or Rockland.
The mall has those. They have those lounge chairs.
Oh,
Yeah, Palisades Mall.
Palisades
Yeah,
Mall.
yeah. Yeah.
older theater or?
The new one, and then they have the seats that go back with the buttons.
Yeah.
Back. Recline. That's
New one, what, they renovated it or?
Yeah, they changed it. Yeah.
All the theaters.
They used to have the chairs that didn't go as far back. Now they have the chairs that are like.
And also
You're
very
like-
expensive.
Yeah, you're like in a big
One
seat.
movie, $20.
Yeah. Well, if you go before 12
So there's
o'clock,
the hotel fee is included.
before 12 o'clock, they're like $7, $6. Before 12 o'clock, it's called matinee.
Oh, 12 o'clock means morning.
Morning, yeah, morning. Yeah, you probably want to see
I'm not
it.
sure there morning.
Yeah. I'll give you a brochure. You see on TV?
There's no audio. Even no audios. Movie is not really that.
Oh yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
What did you say? Snowden is a military experience.
Yeah. I didn't know that either. I didn't know he was in the military before either. He broke his leg in the movie. He fell out of his bunk when they were waking him up in the morning. He fell out of and then his leg was it ended up being like damaged. There's like a photographer who's broken anyway.
He will like fold them or like send an email to swap out the whatever they think like the boss. Hopefully like it's not more exciting. Then you broken anyway.
Broken basic training, and then he's broken
He's a photographer in the movie. He breaks the Enigma. We had the guy from the girl store, the movie Girl Store. You guys ever see that movie?
Yeah.
That's he is one guy from that movie too. Starts getting aired right. Everyone's watching. He starts getting. But it's a good movie. You guys see it, just get a little. That's when he he takes it out even a micro SD, A lot of with like reporters and like when he has to leave after. It was good.
I'll watch.
got good reviews, but didn't do good. And a lot of
Yeah. He received like political asylum and all that.
people want to know the truth.
This is part of it. You guys see where the one part of the movie where he so sitting there in the street where he starts getting all like crazy with his laptops on. And so he starts freaking out. It's the worst. It's really
Bobby, you have to practice. Programming is not just theory. Every single line, you have to practice. That way you can. You have an error.
We found out it's not the permanence, right?
Yours is right now, there's an indentation problem. Indentation? indentation is important. All here, df, then after colon you have to indent, right? That way, Python recognize the block of code is inside of the container.
Does everyone take a look at numbers?
So don't try to copy and paste. Then you lose all the indentation. Here, Marvin. If you see here, that's all indented, right?
Yeah.
Here, this is indented, and if this, and that is also indent. Yeah, if indent, else indent. Because the white space is counted very sensitively in Python.
Yeah, why is indenting so important in Python?
Because it removes all the curly braces, that coding.
Yeah.
So that is the only way that we can say, oh, this is a block of code which is a part of, for example, if statements, or part of a function, or part of what?
It removes brackets.
No. Brackets is used for list,
It doesn't
and curly brace is used for separate function. Remember that here. Oh, that's a good question. That reminds me of this. Okay, in Python, for example, say if you have for loop, for whatever that, then after the end of that, the signature of a for loop, then you have to have colon. By looking at the colon, I'm going to increase this. The interpreter of your Python understands, oh, there may be the body of that for loop comes after this. So what happens then that should be inside of that. This is body of this for loop.
Can you explain that one more time?
Sure. It's like this. This is a for loop. Anything that you want to put within. This is a signature of that, or if you have a def function definition, say def lowercase and my func. This is the signature, and body of that function needs to be inside with some indentation. So how can I make indentation? I want to make hold on, let me.
In terminal, you have to use indentation, right?
Right, some editor generate the indentation automatically, like Paizo. But if you use others, then you have to make it intentionally.
Tab.
Do not use a tab. From my experience, if you use a tab, then sometimes if you mix a tab with the spacebar, then they treat it differently. Let's say tab in your editor 5 spaces. Tab is nothing but 5 spaces. It is not counted like that in Python. Tab is tab, and spacebar is spacebar. If it is spacebar, then Python counted. Oh, there are 5 spaces or 3 spaces. If there's a tab, then tab. 1 tab, 2 tabs, 3 tabs, like that. So that is the indent.
Python 3.5 does that too?
Everything.
Why does he tab and space different?
Internally, the coding, internal ASCII code, when this is nothing but button, right?
Oh,
Keyboard.
oh, the
Button is converted to the ASCII code. There's a different ASCII code.
The ASCII code for tab and space is different.
Correct.
Okay. That makes sense. So if you use tab, you can make sure you only use tab.
Correct.
So you can still use it, you just have to be careful.
Of course.
But it's faster.
Of course. But do not mix.
No.
Yeah.
Or substitute. Not so.
Yeah. So at some points, if you have some unknown error, then you need to make sure that, oh, I might have some combination of tab and spacebar. So like this. I'm not sure this is a good pictorial explanation, but if you have some signature of the block, let's say I'm going to explain a little more. This is a signature, function signature. And at the same time, we have function body. This is only because since needs some explanation. So I think this is now clear, right? So there is a function signature and function body. Then function body should be inside to indicate that in Python, rather than using curly braces, we use a colon and indentation. Colon and indentation. So colon is very, very important. So do not use colon unless really needed. I will this way. Like this. Colon. Same thing here. Let me explain another one similar to this indentation and colon issue. Those who have experience in, you want to see it? This dictionaries. Yeah, value is itself is a list. Okay? Value itself is a list. That's fine too. Like this.
Yes.
Then I can say Control or Alt return. Then it this.
That's the only time you need to use it, right?
And here, if we want to say semantics, multiple dictionary, to see if it is possible. So J1. So I have 2 dictionaries in one list. This. Yeah, it works. Yeah. Multiple dictionaries can be in one list. That is fine. Very, very flexible.
Write down a strong language.
Okay, so what is your progress of this? So, practice.
What about
Oh, there's a operating system. Yeah, forking possible in operating systems.
crashing your computer, right?
If it is unlimited, what is it? How many
Yeah,
times?
it's unlimited.
It's unlimited. Yeah, while true. Yeah, unlimited. Oh, you made the indentation. Good.
Yeah, but it's saying
Yeah.
line 3 something's wrong. Unexpected index.
Right. It is unexpected. Why you have all the indent here? You start from left margin, so everything should
All the
be.
way? Yeah, whenever I press enter, it was
Don't rely on that. You have to. Programming is yours, right? You have to make sure that. Yeah. From here, all to left. All to left.
that's fine.
Alan? Don? Not almost? Joe? What is his name is Izwan? Don? Huh? What's it so?
Still.
Fix it. See what happens. That is invalid syntax. So what is invalid? Did you do this? Oh, you have a lot of Python. This is not really Python. What you do here? It should be. It's one line, and then there is entry. This is a different statements. You combine them together, and then that is okay. But grid, yeah. This, why this is another line? Still goes with the previous. And why this?
Yeah.
No indentation. Space line is not really the problem, line space, but indentation is that.
Meaning like this.
That is the problem, but if you have more lines, it's fine.
Okay,
More
so the
spaces
lines
will
don't-
be, yeah.
Okay, it's just there.
Mhm.
You're working on say,
Run it.
16.
What is the problem right now? What did you say? What did you say? See here. Look here. You have a try and accept. Here, try and accept is inside. That is fine. This is separate. This is with that. Why we have this except here is this should be lined up with this try, not with this. This is a separate. This is separate. So pass has nothing to do with this pass. So click in front. No, click in front of pass, and then you can make as many as you want. Fine, and save and run. What is the issue? 31? You need to close here, parenthesis. Here, one below.
Here?
No, one up. Should close parenthesis.
What, another one?
The symbols are weird.
What is error now?
27. 27.
What did it say?
Is that right?
It's fine. So everything is in port. It's fine. What did it say?
Name W is not
W, is it small or cap? Here W. That W is uppercase. What is the error? Column. It's not column. Column. What is a column? Why column? It's like this column. You said column.
Well, which one?
Look at that.
What is it, line 2074?
And you know, English alphabet.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Look at that. That is you said column. Column is not recognized. It should be column. But you wrote column. Do you see that? Do you want me to point out? I want you to find out. That way that it will be yours.
So
Read it carefully.
in Chinese, words and letters are similar, the same. To create a sentence.
James,
So you create a different.
you are now learning Python language, not Chinese language. Did you find out? Column. You close. Oh,
Close?
yeah.
And this one?
Because they're all closer. You're now using what? Oh, you're doing the temperature. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're working with temperature. Yeah. So see, temperature works, right?
I couldn't get it to work.
I thought you were using this file. So that's the next. Okay, I want you to practice this, and next assignment to you. I want to fill this as much as you can. Oh, this edit, I don't think it's possible, right?
Well, can you do copy? I do copy, but it doesn't. Then it gives me a problem after. You know, it says that I don't have.
Right. Don't. What I want you to do is that I want you to, for example, new, open, save as. I think you can do this. Edit. Even if you have here something, you can edit it, right? I can do more and more.
Why is it showing
Here.
the code on there?
Huh?
Why is it showing the code on there? I see.
I chose the file.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah. And then I edit, and then if I want to, this, if you can do, but find.
Does the copy work?
Do we need to do a copy or plastic?
Don't
Copy.
do as much as you can, okay? But file here, I think you can do first 4 items, first 4 submenus of a file. I think you can do, and then edit button, edit tab. I don't think you can do much, but for example, select all. It's not implemented, right? It's not selected. So you can find it. Help you can do. So I want you to do. I want you to practice the submenus of edit, format, view as much as you can, but all of this in the file menu, new, open, save as. Open and save as already done. Save is very simple, therefore, and new is you erase something and then open it, like I did here. And page setup, print. Exit needs to be implemented so that if I click exit, that
So page setup.
exit is not. Exit should be close entire windows. It is not yet implemented. So question?
So exit doesn't work when it says get out.
It is not fully implemented. So I want you to complete it.
So then you find out and you define how to do it, right? So that it knows.
You need to define a function. So it should associated with that label,
Yeah.
whatever
right.
that is, so that you can command the equal and function name, and that function name is executed.
So the accelerators, you're only putting that there so you can view it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I understand.
So can you improve a little bit from there? I think you could, right? So I want you to do. That is next homework assignments.
Number 2.
3. Yeah, 3. Homework number 3 is the completion of this file.
You didn't post it yet, or I guess
I didn't yet. Yeah.
you post it later.
Yeah.
So I was doing submit it.
Says define copy and self clipboard clear.
Wow.
So what do I do then? And but it would, when I execute it, wouldn't. It gives me an issue that well, first I would have to have the text, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I go to
Edit.
oh, I don't. Oh, I took. Oh, hold on 1 sec. I think before, see when I had.
gives me missing one positional argument. Self. So. I'm gonna have to find a different way. I saw a different way.
That is because you made this self. You copied this from somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
I found that one. Yeah.
When you do self, then when you create a class,
you have to
class that is a class of self,
Okay.
like self objects. So in this case, you do not have self. Of course, therefore, it is not working. Somehow, then how can
you have to
we
make to
understand
create.
the self?
Now I know what you mean.
Copy. Yeah, you need to look up the manual, more detailed
Yeah,
manual.
I will.
Or you can create a class.
So I'm finding something that looks similar to this one, like the text to save, F-right.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna, and then I define each one.
Yeah.
All right.